Harris put this post up here about a day ago, almost 23 hours ago, and he's asking a very interesting question. He says, why would PlayStation care if a game they've ported to PC is playable on a PC? Does the name of the PC really matter much? Matter that much? And people are responding, and man, some of the responses are actually so funny that PlayStation is going to block their games from going to be played on this Xbox device, and so on and so forth. Now, here's what I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys. Valve is going to force PlayStation to let these games be played on the devices because, in this case, PlayStation will have no choice than, to pretty much succumb to Valve's will. And the reason I say that they're going to have no choice but to succumb to Valve's will is because this is not the first time that they've basically succumbed to the will of someone else about their own games. I mean, if we follow the history, we'll realize that this will probably be the very first time that, a PlayStation has been forced to do something against their own will. If you guys remember, and this is what I've been told, and I think today I probably need to take it seriously, is that MLB forced PlayStation one time because of licensing issues to put their game, MLB The Show, on Xbox. Do y'all remember? What happened was Vinny, a guy that is basically close to probably the MLB commissioner, walked into San Diego studios. As he walked in, he looked for the creative director's office. He barged in there, pushed it down, and all the people that were having a meeting with the creative director, they ran out and scoured like little roaches. And then he looked at, and Vinny looked at the creative director and said, hey, if you don't port this game on the Xbox, you need to kiss your job goodbye. And said it in his most, I don't know, somewhere in the East Coast accent. And that's how MLB The Show showed up on Xbox. And that's just one, iteration of the whole situation. I mean, there were more instances, and I'm going to go ahead and, basically iterate them for you because it's very important that we go ahead and actually put this distinction out here because y'all know that PlayStation, is not really that influential, and many of these different folk can actually coerce them to do things like that. In another case, this PlayStation, situation also happened when, another gentleman who has been very influential in gaming walked into PlayStation HQ. And as he walked into PlayStation HQ somewhere around 2022 or so, he dropped a big, briefcase full of money and said, I'd like for Death Stranding to go over to Xbox. And PlayStation was like, what do you mean? And then he said, sit down. And then the person that was about to, basically go ahead and, object sat down and was like, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. And then they were like, you need to make sure that I can get this game on the Xbox console. And they were like, all right, man, we'll take that briefcase full of money and then we'll let you basically go ahead and do that. You see, this is something that seems to be a chronic problem. I can't wrap my head around how this continues to actually happen every single time. We thought that, that was basically going to be it. But one thing that we didn't realize was there was another company that apparently had, this very strong influence. And somewhere, somehow, not only did they force PlayStation to launch one of their games day and date on PC, they also forced them to go ahead and get a Nintendo launch in there as well. This is the Lego company. The joyous children toy company Lego somehow apparently had a division of, I will call it public affairs that can make things happen. Perhaps they've been building influence, get it? Building their influence so heavily that PlayStation could not resist their own terms, that not only did they go ahead and, pretty much launch that game on PC day one, they were somehow forced to go ahead and launch the game on the Nintendo Switch as well simultaneously. So how in the world is PlayStation going to resist the Valve? How is PlayStation going to resist the Gaben? How is PlayStation going to go ahead and, in a sense, touch the untouchable one in this particular regard? Now, obviously, I spent 4 minutes being sarcastic and pointing out how this is such a very interesting set of comments by these so-called PlayStation fanboys. This person said something on the channel. Shout out to you, this user. You said they cannot do it. That's basically if Xbox were to basically allow for a PC layer, Windows 32 based, on their platform, somehow PlayStation is going to block this. They said unless a judge says they can do it, It would take years for the legal system to come to that conclusion. Well, this is a bunch of nonsense. You said even if it was the ultimate outcome, so forget about it. Sony will block this from happening. You can want many things in life, but that doesn't mean it's legal. LOL. Another person said they already blocked GeForce Now. So you know that for a fact they'll have Valve blacklist Microsoft/Xbox devices in the future. Sorry to break it to you, homie, but this device that I'm making this video from is one that actually has access to PlayStation games, and the operating system is powered by Microsoft's Windows 11 operating system. I don't know how anybody can think that a Windows 11 system, in terms of being able to meet the requirement in terms of the hardware, the graphics, and so on and so forth, would be regulated anywhere by PlayStation. Why would they even have the jurisdiction to let anybody know or go ahead and blacklist PC devices on a platform that is known for consumer protection? That is this platform that Amazon tried to topple for 15 years and failed. This is the platform that these folk are saying. This is how you know that a lot of PlayStation fans do not even understand the reason people abandoned consoles and went straight to PC gaming, because there was not just only the freedom, but they had a platform who right now, as it stands, its CEO, or I guess I say the owner, however I don't know what his official title is, actually does provide consumer protection over anything else, even to the point that the giant Amazon, who pretty much had that particular, funding and backing and everything that you would probably want to be able to go ahead and defeat any other platform, could not topple them over after 15 years of trying. All of this talk is a bunch of nonsense. I just cannot imagine that people would go ahead and think that this somewhere, somehow, is going to pretty much go ahead and, make them, stop, or block their games or whatever it is. With GeForce Now, you could probably use, signature in terms of, the kind of browser kind or whatever it is to block it, because GeForce was basically integrated with the Xbox side. But, and again, some people have found a way to use like Boosteroid to go ahead and access the PlayStation library of games, from what I've heard anyways. I've never gotten to try it, but from what I'm seeing here, there are people even commenting, talking about the functionality and talking about how you basically have some aspects like full screen and stuff that's not working. But some people are talking about how they can actually go ahead and still play using that particular capability. So anyone who wants to pretty much be consumer friendly is going to be consumer friendly. And if Steam wants to maintain its consumer friendliness, eyes are going to be on them. PlayStation can basically go pound sand if they don't want Xbox, machines to play their games, and just stop, listing their games on the Xbox platform. It's kind of like those 4 PlayStation games that got on Good Old Games, and PlayStation doesn't seem like they want to go ahead and launch any more on there, which is fine, but the cat's already out of the bag. They can't go back and then say, oh, by any means, can Good Old Games add DRM to the games? No. They already basically put their games on there by guaranteeing that the game will be DRM free. So you have Horizon Zero Dawn, you have God of War 2018, you have Uncharted, and then you have Days Gone. 4 of these games that are PlayStation games are DRM free. So at the end of the day, I think this particular line of conversation is one that's really funny and one that really needs to be examined with an air of skepticism. This other person here, Sega Channel, said it's funny because other than live service games, they aren't doing any day and date, and many games aren't even on PC. See GT7, Astro Ball, etc. Okay. Yeah, Xbox fans are trying to get PlayStation games because they want them, but hate the PlayStation consoles because they're lame fanboy love for Xbox. Sega Channel, I know that you are a pro PlayStation account, but I understand that, this is basically the same thing that PlayStation gamers have been doing the last few weeks when they heard that there's a possibility of getting Xbox games on their platforms. So I wouldn't use this as some kind of indictment against the the Xbox community who may be wanting to play your games on their platform. I'd say this should be something that everybody should be celebrating, that we have all found ways around the hegemony that these particular corporations have, put in place, that no longer are they going to basically go ahead and control things. It's weird because I see that for some strange reason, it's folk on console that somehow like this, anti-consumer approach that these console companies have taken all these years. Well, if Xbox opened this thing up, which I hope that they do, I really hope they do, it will be very interesting to see how people react to it. Because what do these people want? For walled gardens to continue to stay up? Nah, man, that's a whole bunch of nonsense. But anyways, talk to me in the comment section. I really appreciate you guys' time and audience. And yeah, let's see how Valve basically twists PlayStation arm, in quotes, twists, and let's see how this stuff all plays out. Thanks again. Hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.